What's up, everybody? Welcome to Live Fridays with Toss and Spin Tennis. Special shout out to Hit Happy Tennis for the amazing hat. Head over to their IG and website and make sure you purchase something. But today I couldn't be more excited to welcome in my guy, my brother, Jeremy Martin, former college tennis player, one of the best ball striking lefties that you will find. He's going to join us and tell us a little bit about his picks and thoughts on the US Open. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and we're going to get after it.
I gotta reverse this around. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. We got some semifinals coming up pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah. Guys, don't listen to him when he talks about the ball striking. It's pretty much shanks all day. That's my.
That's me.
You know what?
That's
Don't come to the net on me. I'm gonna hit a shank lob over your head. That's what I do.
All day, man. Yeah. So before we jump into it and debate, what's going on at the U.S. Open, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself besides the shank lobs.
Yeah, man. That's my thing. So, I'm Jeremy Martin. I've been playing tennis basically my whole life. I've got videos of me playing it too. So, my dad played in college, taught me and both my brothers how to play, and we all three played college tennis together. So, I'm the only lefty. So, me and Chris kind of met out playing at in Charlotte Pro League.
Yeah.
We just happened to be two lefties playing. I'm not going to talk about who won that match because one of us had a better doubles partner than another. But always good times. I enjoy still getting out and playing some. And yeah, a little known fact, I'm a righty, but I play lefty. So I was playing at such a young age that when I learned to serve, I dislocated my right elbow on a Tarzan accident off a monkey bar. So I learned to serve left-handed and just kind of stuck with it. So
Yeah,
resident lefty.
I actually never knew you dislocated your elbow.
Yeah, man. It was like literally like both my brothers were learning to serve at the time, and so I was probably 6 or 7. So I was like, I'm gonna learn to serve too. Just started serving left-handed.
It's got to help having brothers who play tennis, obviously.
Oh yeah.
We're very, 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 very good.
Yeah, you learn very early how to deal with people getting you on the close calls on the line. So it really prepares you for college tennis.
Yeah, I know, right? Very for all those cheaters. They call me a cheater, but that's not true. I call them fair and square.
Oh yeah. I always say I'm never gonna be the first, but if I get you back, it's not gonna be even. It's gonna be on a big point.
Right,
no
right.
point in getting somebody back at 15 love. It's gotta be break point.
Exactly. No, that's funny, man. I appreciate that. And with the U.S. Open going on, I know you've been watching. The first thing I wanted to ask you and get your perspective on, what's your thoughts on Novak?
Bro, I saw this this really I was watching early and I turned away and I turned back and then I saw them touching rackets and I was like, what happened? I figured, Novak basically, I don't know, won. I didn't think he won that fast, but I figured, somehow either somebody got injured or something happened or, weather delay or something. But I mean, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I mean, first off, obviously, I think it was accidental. I don't think, there's people saying, oh, man, you should be suspended. I saw Kyrgios say, I'll be banned for years for doing it. And, I mean, overall, I think he's sorry. I don't think he should have any suspension or anything. But I think they had to, kick him out of the match. I mean, he hit her. If it was a leg or something, I'd be like, yeah, probably still. But, I mean, you hit somebody in the throat. I mean, you kind of got to get.
The funny thing, so when I first saw it, I was like, of course it wasn't on purpose. You're not going to hit someone on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're playing against your opponent. But, when he hit her, he kind of stunned her. And from one angle, I was like, she didn't get hit that hard. And then the other angle, I saw it, she got hit pretty hard. So I was like, wow, I think, I was surprised that it happened. You got no fans in the crowd, viral ball into the stadium. He hit her square in the esophagus, right? And he stunned her. And I was laughing because I was like, I think if you got hit with a grape in your esophagus, you're going to be stunned. So I think they had to suspend him. I guess what surprised me the most about that was just seeing him being number one do something like that, and it shows like he still hasn't got rid of some of those demons he had as a kid. And I
Oh
was just
yeah,
like, wow.
they never go. You just got to try to keep them under wraps.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, old habits die fast, but he hit her, she went down, and then I was just like, I couldn't believe Novak did that. But with that said, he's either going to come back stronger than ever, or he's just going to go away. But I mean, honestly, it made the U.S. Open more exciting because, you know, it was just another tournament you thought Novak was going to win, and now it's kind of, I won't say it's somewhat up in the air, but I think it can go many different ways if you look at who could potentially win. But I also brings me to my next thing, which is Tiafoe and him carrying the torch in American tennis. And from my perspective, as I think of him, he was satisfied with getting to the fourth round. And when he got there, it was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's it for me. What'd you think?
I mean, I'll be honest. I thought, for one, Medvedev is playing really well. I did not believe he was going to turn into being this player. I remember watching Medvedev play, I think it was like 4 years ago when I was watching it online when he was playing against my boy Donald Young. Shout out to Donald. In Savannah Challenger, and he got disqualified. Medvedev got disqualified for saying, I think the lines person called it. He had break point on Donald, and Donald was up, and she called his ball out, and he said they were friends. He's like, I'm sure of it, they're friends, because it's a black chairperson, so he got disqualified for the match. But I mean, he was really just pushing. I mean, Donald kind of moving him around, and now I'm seeing him 8 feet behind the baseline hitting winners. So it kind of tells you where his game is going, and it's kind of disappointing to see. You know, none of the Americans are taking their game to that level, because you're seeing guys like him that are. I mean, it's other players that have that kind of talent that don't, you know, necessarily maybe make those leaps. And I think that's what we want to see from the American side. From Francis in particular, I thought he had a great tournament. You know, making it to the fourth round. I didn't really expect him to beat Medvedev, but I expected him to put up a better fight than that. I mean, I thought. First set was, you know, kind of well contested, one break, and then you get into the second set and you got down early. And from that point on, I thought it was, you know, to say it lightly, I thought it was a tank. Everybody's been on the court when you get in a match and you don't have it that day and somebody else has it going, and really you're just ready to get off the court. But it's a I mean, at a certain point, you still got to fight it through, at least go through the motion and just take the L. I thought he kind of threw in the towel and was ready to get off the court. I mean, it would have been better for him to just straight up default, make up an injury or something than to stay out there and play like he did. I mean, it was embarrassing. So,
and that's my question is like, what's wrong with American tennis? Because I mean, to say it just straightforward and direct, like my wife would say, just be direct. I think we're kind of soft. I mean, you look at Taylor Fritz. To me, he could potentially be in the semis right now, right? Yeah. I mean, he's serving for the match against Shapo. I mean, John Isner is about, you know, close to retirement. You got Steve Johnson, but then, you know what I mean, the top guys who, or not even the top guys, the guys who are supposed to be next, right? That next wave, you know, do okay, but then they won't get over that hump. And it's just sad to see. And I mean, it's not like we don't have the resources or the players or the coaches or whatever it may be. They just can't get there. So, you know, I was high on Tiafoe for about, call it 18 hours. I was like, I think he's going to, you know, I picked him to win because I was like, he's got confidence. He's coming off a couple good wins. You know what I mean? He's going to show up tonight kind of like in a Monfils type of a way. And then even I think from like the first time he got broke, I was like, it didn't look like a break where he was going to fire himself up. It looked like it's about to be a long night. And then even when
it was.
The commentators, when they went away from the match, I was like, you know, they were just looking for something else to play because he was just like, it was tough to watch. But even with that said, to your point, he had a good tournament. You know, I think he just needs to figure out how to get over that next hump. And, you know, we have expectations as fans, right? I have an expectation of a player, but maybe his expectation was to get to the fourth round. And when he got there, that's what he wanted. I mean, and, you know, he got $250K. So, you know, that's not a bad payday either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
from my point of view, it's more of he's got a top level talent to where when he's playing his best, he can hang with anybody. I mean,
sure.
you see him on the court with Federer, you see him on the court with guys, and really being able to show what he can do. I think the disappointing part is that it seems like there's mental, lapses to where he doesn't necessarily hold that level. And that's really where I would like to see him improve. Honestly, I look at a lot of guys and say, from the standpoint of Zverev and guys like that, I don't see how Tiafoe's not at least as talented as those guys. I mean, he's got a huge serve, a huge forehand, very athletic. His backhand's good. He's got pretty good hands at the net. I mean, he can pretty much do it all. So there's really no excuse for him not to be, a better consistent player than what he is, because we've seen this where he has spurts of where he does really, really well in tournaments. But at the same time, the next tournament he might lose first round. I mean, he's got a losing record this year overall, which is, embarrassing for as talented as he is. And I root for him, but I just want to see him, do a little bit better.
100%.
Yeah. As far as the rest of the American side, I've been saying this for years. We're getting softer and softer as Americans as far as the playing. If you look at USTA, I mean, hell, half the tournaments are not playing third sets out. They're playing no ad. Obviously, when I don't want to be one of those. When back in my day, but you play 3 singles matches and 2 doubles matches, and you be on the court all day. These days, it's like 2 and 1 is the max. Half the doubles matches are 8-game process. I mean, it's really where if you're not putting in the time or at least rewarding the people that are putting in that work to really grind out and be physical, because at the end of the day, I could be out of shape and win a 2 out of 3 if I got a third set tiebreaker and there's no ad. All I gotta do is win one set. I could cruise the second set and then win a tiebreaker. So right. I think it's kind of
a lot of people do that too. They tank a set. They get down an early break and be like, all right, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make it look okay, and then get my rhythm at the end of the set. Get ready for the breaker. Then
not gonna lie, I've been there.
For sure. Yeah.
I've been there. I've been like, I can't remember like the ITA tournaments, the college tournaments in the summertime, and they were always 2 out of 3 and 10-point tiebreaker. And there's been times where like I was exhausted for playing a match earlier, and I get my second match, and I go through and I go, look, I won the first set. I get down an early break. Look, it's gonna be this 10-point tiebreaker. I'm gonna save some energy and try to hit some aces. Like that's basically what it comes down to.
No, I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that's my thing is like, if you don't let people grind it out, now they're headed to Europe, getting ready for the clay, and they're gonna get blasted, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I mean, I do think American women's tennis looks strong, very strong. I mean,
it's amazing. Like I look at from going back from Ken and winning the Australian. I mean, Naomi's. She's Japanese, I guess, is her nationality now, but really she was trying to play. She was USTA for a while, and they wouldn't give her the money she wanted to travel, so that's why she went to Japanese. So she lives in America, and kind of grew up playing there.
They pay for her. They pay for her stuff. So
yeah. And so I mean, looking at Brady played well. Shelby Rogers, she's from South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. I remember watching her play in juniors. So. Like a lot of these people we see around, it's talent on talent, and
sure.
It seems like from a women's standpoint, you couldn't be any stronger. I don't see how they ever lose a Fed Cup, but at the end of the day, we're not seeing it transferring over. But I don't know. Did you get an opportunity to watch those matches last night?
Yeah. Falling asleep a little bit, but Brady looks good. I mean, she looks good. Surprisingly good. Like she reminds me a little bit of Sam Stosur, big, heavy forehand, kick serve, she can do it all. Very versatile, slice backhand. I love it. So I think she's going to give people problems for it, years to come. And especially as she goes on the clay, I think that forehand is going to be nasty. Shelby Rogers, she surprises me. She's very steady, very composed. But she does well. And I mean, then you have your young players, your Coco, Katie McNally. I mean, you have those players who, are up and coming. So to me, it's like 3 different tiers. You have the Serena Venus tier. You have the, Jennifer Brady, Shelby Rogers tier. And then you have young, your young players who are, making their dent. But I mean, from my perspective, and as I think of it, since we're talking about the women's, who do you think's going to win the women's final?
Oh, no question in my mind. Naomi's about to win. Azarenka's playing great. I love watching her play. I actually just love the whole mom aspect. You had, 3 moms in the quarterfinals, man. You didn't see that before. Even Kim Clijsters came out there and played the tournament. I think she lost in 3. She looked great. And she the one thing I'll say about the game now, you're seeing a lot of older players really make runs. I mean, Serena turns 39 in like 3 weeks, and she's still in the semis, and it's a disappointment for her and others when she doesn't win the tournament. But to be as great as she is at her age, I mean, it's amazing. So seeing the game continue to grow. Even Venus is Venus 40? I think Venus is 40 already. Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things of where I love watching them play. I just can't see Azarenka hanging with Naomi. I think it's Naomi's time. When she's on her game, I mean, it's really not a lot people can do with her. So I think she's going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 3. But I see more of what happened in the first set against Serena than anything else.
Yeah. I think Naomi came out or went in quarantine one way, came out another way. To me, she's more mature, not only just from an interview perspective. Her energy's good on the court. She reminds me a little bit of her energy. Reminds me of like a Dennis Shapovalov. His energy always bouncing around. She's like focused. She got that look in her eyes. But more importantly, she started to use her platform, to talk about social injustice, which you and I both know is out of control right now. So I think she realized how, she's the highest paid female athlete. I think she realizes how
that shocked me, because I knew she was high, but when they said she's the highest, I figured Serena or somebody would still be high. That shocked me. I guess when you throw in the fact that she's Black and Asian, she's probably getting Japanese money, she's getting American money, she's all over. And I mean, she's great. I'm not that she doesn't deserve it, because she's great. But when they said the highest paid female athlete in the world, I was like, oh wow, I wouldn't have guessed it either.
But I think she's getting, like you said, she's getting a lot of money back home. She's getting money here. I know you saw the body armor. She has the sponsorship of body armor. I mean, she has a Nike deal, so she has a lot of stuff going for her. But that would definitely, she would be my pick for sure. But I do think Azarenka is playing as good as she's ever played. She's striking the ball well, no fear, and she's gonna go for it. So who knows?
I will tell you this: I really didn't like Azarenka, like when she was number 1 in the world. I thought she was like the biggest brat ever.
Yeah,
but I'm starting to like her. I think she seems a little different now. So I wouldn't mind seeing her win, but I'm cheering for Naomi. I hope Naomi gets it done.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. One question that just came in, and usually I don't take too many questions. I see a couple questions that came in though. One was, I think you'll have a good perspective on this. Is Roger done?
You can never bet against Roger, because the thing about Roger is that he literally he's very rarely injured. And when he's come back from injury before, he's come back and done really, really well. I think the reason why he's able to play so late into his career, and I think Nadal may be able to, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nadal isn't able to play quite as late as Federer, is because Federer's game is so, efficient. So basically, his court movement, he's taking the ball early. He's really positioned himself so well in the court. He's got really all the game in the world. He stays pretty much in control of most rallies outside of when he's playing Djokovic or someone like that, or getting on clay courts. And so his court positioning really limits to where his athletic ability has to take over. I think at this point, he's not nearly the athlete he was at 26, 27. However, I think he's just a smarter player. And I think he knows how to conserve his energy and still be able to be dominant.
Yeah.
However, he's going to get passed in majors by Nadal and Djokovic, unfortunately for him. I think this is the part I thought about. Everybody was like, what do you think about when you saw Djokovic? What I thought about was, I'm sure somewhere Federer and Nadal was sitting there going, because he's only 1 major behind Nadal and he's 2 behind Federer. So I know they were probably sitting around going, he's not going to catch me now. And Nadal's like, I got French Open coming up, so I'm not really concerned. So I was shocked that Nadal actually pulled out of the U.S. Open because I thought if he went and let's say he went down and won the U.S. Open, and he would have had a great chance now playing without Djokovic in there. He would have been able to go to the French Open to take over the most majors of all time at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be his opportunity, but I'm not sure anybody really wants to come to the States at this point with the way COVID's going.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You know, one thing, and we'll wrap up here in the next couple of minutes, but the one thing I was thinking about is this tournament actually gave us what life's going to be like without the big three, or call it big four, you know what I mean, in tennis. Yeah. And from, you know, the men's side of the game, it's going to be interesting because I think there's like gaps, right? You got Medvedev and Team on another level. Like you have Nadal, Djokovic on a level, and then Team and Medvedev could probably be in that same level. And then it's kind of like everybody else. I mean, you saw the Demonar Team match. It was a beating. It wasn't even close. So I think there's just like these varying levels that, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what men's tennis looks like. Again, I think women's tennis is going to be great because you flip a coin, you really don't know who's going to win. It's like who's playing better that day because, you know, Coco may beat someone and then she may have a bad day. Then that player has a bad day the next day. And then it's just like this forever ending cycle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, and then that's why, I mean, in the men's, I think whoever wins against, the Team and Medvedev match, whoever wins that match is going to win the tournament. Unless
they are,
you know, hurt.
I give Zverev no chance to beat neither one of them.
No chance. Straight sets on that side. So
yeah,
I mean, they should look at this almost like the finals because if they get through this, you know, they're going to have a chance to get their Grand Slam. So it's going to be interesting. You know, I think it's going to be interesting to see what tennis looks like in a few years. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to really establish himself. It could be a Tiafoe. I really do. You know, I believe he could.
He's got the talent.
You know, who does win majors. You know, Taylor Fritz, look, I mean, he's hitting a bigger ball than I've ever seen him hit. He's hitting a very good ball right now. So it could be him. But outside of that, I don't, you know, Tommy Paul's a baller too. But he's, you know, up and down, same thing. He's much like Francis. I mean, Riley Opelka's playing well, but could he carry the torch? I don't know. It's a lot of these guys stay healthy, right? So.
Yeah, I look at the tournament and say, overall, I like what I saw from Felix. I don't think he's quite there yet physically. He's just so young. I don't think he's gotten, even though he's big, but I still don't think he's gotten his man body yet. And I like where he is mentally. I think he's going to be somebody who can push in order to really try to make a run at winning a major in the future. I think from an American standpoint, or even just another Canadian that we got out there, I think coming into the tournament that, you know, Djokovic almost got beat by, let's look at my mind, what's the gigantic Canadian? He was like number 4 in the world a couple years ago.
Oh, Milos, yeah.
Raonic. I thought he was playing really well, and the fact that he got upset so early, it was shocking to me. So I was kind of shocked by that, but I think there's a lot of talent, and I think whenever we do get out of, you know, the Federer, Nadal, Djokovic era, I think the game's still going to be in really good hands.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got, like they say, FAA. I like that. You got FAA, you got Kyrgios, you got, you know, Medvedev. I mean, you got guys that can carry the game and carry that excitement, you know, as we move forward. So, I mean, if we got those guys another 2 years, more so Fed, I think Nadal has a couple years left. Djokovic should finish with more titles than them all because, I mean, in theory, he has, in my opinion, less miles on his body. And I think he could go another 5 years at the looks of it, maybe more. So
I think Nadal still got probably 12 more French Opens in him, like, basically.
You know what? It would surprise me if he just shut it down, like, hardcore, and then he just started playing French Opens. Like, literally, he just practiced and played the French, and I still think there's not many people who can beat him, even if that's what his schedule was. Yeah. I want to, you know, bring up one situation since everybody, you know, looking at the Djokovic thing. I had a similar situation, so I know exactly what the Lions lady was going through.
It was the 1994 U.S. Clay Court Championship. I was a ball boy, and I was not paying attention. And I got hit in the stomach by Michael Pernforth's serve, and it literally knocked all my air out. And so I stayed on the court and pretended as if it didn't hurt. And then at the changeover, I went off and probably cried in the corner or something. It was terrible. So just so that lady knows, I know exactly how she's feeling.
Oh, man. And you know what's sad? There's a lot of people like, I heard she was getting death threats. I'm like, what did she do? Also,
how dare you get hit in the throat?
Brad Gilbert tried to say, well, she moved into the ball. Like, she didn't move into the ball. Like, she didn't know the ball was coming. I was just like, man, tennis players are so accurate. You know what I mean? When you hit a ball, it's not going to go this way, that way. It's going to go directly to the target, right? So
100%.
I mean, but they had to default to him. If they didn't default him, the USTA would just be a mess right now.
Oh, it would be ridiculous. They had to, and then Djokovic had to go into his Twitter feed and tell people to leave the lady alone. I mean, that tells you where we are as a society. That you have to go as the person who committed the action. You have to go to tell your fans to leave the victim alone. I mean, that tells you a lot.
Yeah. That just shows exactly what well said, because that's where we are as a society, and we can only hope that it gets better. That's all we can hope for. So
for sure,
yeah. But anyway, thanks again. This was a lot of fun.
For sure, man.
With you and getting your perspective on everything. As always, you know where to follow us both. Again, shout out to Hit Happy Tennis for the amazing hat. And my man, we'll be catching up later.
All right, next week let's talk about the Golf US Open.
I don't know if I can do that. I'm on the sidelines. I stay back when you guys golf. All right.
All right, man. Take care.
All
right.
See ya.
Peace.